Well, fellas, welcome. Brian looking great. Andrew, nice shirt you got on.
Thank you. Yeah, I went shopping after Morocco. Yeah, I really needed some shopping.
Seriously, yeah. 2 days ago, Andrew came up to me and he's like, I need some fashion advice. I want to look business casual.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the right guy for you. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
This is a great look. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I'm just glad I didn't. I have a shirt just like that. I'm just glad I didn't wear it.
Here's another funny thing I just remembered before we get into all the actions, because it was a crazy week. Every time I showed Andrew these after hours with traders, like, I'm looking for feedback. How can we be better? He's like looking at it and he's like, oh man, I'm too fat. Son. I'm like, man, I'm talking about the content. So
Well, you're always your own biggest critic.
It's true.
You look at the mirrors. I have to do this. I have to do that.
Yeah.
You lose weight and stuff. Yeah,
for sure.
I'm not really confident about my look, so that's.
You guys are good-looking fellas.
Yeah,
so
there you go, eh?
Yeah, there you go.
Kicking
welcome
things
to the
off
show,
with a couple of trips there.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was the picture of me is Valley of the Kings. That's in one of the tombs taken, and when you go into the tombs, there's just, I would say, like meters and meters and meters of just what do you call it? Passageways that are carved with, and you know, this is just one, and unfortunately, of course, a lot of the color is faded, but you just can imagine all these things were very vividly painted on the walls, and they all told a story. So yeah, it was very cool. There was a lot of really interesting things that saw in Egypt and experienced. Yeah.
Well,
and you had an awesome trip too. We were pretty close. We were in the Sahara.
There's only one Sahara between us.
That's right. Exactly.
There was a famous novel, Alchemist. The guy comes from Morocco and he wants to go to Egypt. And then he has to cross the whole Sahara. Yeah, very nice.
Well, awesome. Well, glad to have you guys back.
Thanks.
It was an insane week. We usually start like talking lots of chit chat, but so many stuff happened. I want to get into it. Elon Musk wanting to buy Twitter. One of the boards of one of the biggest shareholders of Twitter is Saudi Kingdom, their sovereign wealth fund, and he tweeted, "I don't believe that the proposed offer by Elon Musk at $54.20 comes close to the intrinsic value of Twitter." And then Elon asked, interesting, he replied to that, just 2 questions. How much of Twitter does the kingdom own directly and indirectly? What are the kingdom's view on journalistic freedom of speech? Which is really risky tweet, knowing like Saudi Arabia's history.
Yeah.
What do you think? Brian, tell us, you discovered something about this price, by the way.
Well, this is something that kind of popped out, you know, because he bid $54.20, and if you drop the 5, you know, that 420 number seems to pop up again with Elon. If you remember a couple of years ago when Tesla was trading under 400, he said he had a bid for, you know, he was going to take the company private at 420. And you remember the financing secure statement that got him into trouble with the SEC.
Yeah.
So here we have again 50, and now 420 shows up again, and we were just kind of laughing about that because he's making it $54.20. So that we figured out that 20 cents is another $160 million just to make it 420.
Just to make it fun.
Yeah.
So Andrew, the news came out, you would expect if the deal is serious, the stock would actually go quickly to that share price, right? Because we know market's efficient. But it like went up a little bit and then went down.
Sold up heavily, yeah.
So what does that mean?
Well, I think you probably know better than me. I think that means that market doesn't take this seriously. And the investors, at least in the public market, they don't believe that this would go through. If they did, they would have definitely jump into that. So anything before 54.20 would be a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, same boat as you. We were just talking offline to Brian. I said maybe a good trade could be some YOLO calls at $54 expiring in a couple of months, but I don't think it's serious.
Well, you could, you know, I mean, if you look at the process of when you do a sort of if you want to call it a hostile takeover, you make an offer. You don't say first and final. because that puts the board in a very difficult position. I mean, they're fiduciaries of the company, or and they're supposed to be acting on behalf of the shareholders. So if they'd have just said, "Oh yeah, we'll take it," then the lawsuits would have followed like bang, bang, bang right away, because they didn't do their responsibility and get the best possible price. So it was just. I mean, the whole thing was just. It's typical Elon Musk. Just shoot from the hip and kind of see where all the stuff hits the fan and see where it lands, right?
But one thing I would say though, in terms of just trading and opportunities, this opens the door of other companies now looking into Twitter. So,
possibly, yeah, could be. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know the antitrust rules, but maybe now this opens the door. Hey, if Elon want to buy them, then maybe there could be a way for Facebook to buy them, or some kind of antitrust law. So these guys, just similar to Peloton, I think now they're going to be a target for acquisition. So
social media companies are a little bit more difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because Facebook and Instagram, people we're happy with that, and of course the government agencies aren't very happy with social media companies to begin with, and any kind of consolidation I can see running into a lot of problems, unless it comes from someone who's not is already in the social media space.
Yeah.
So anyone but Facebook or. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, maybe they could be in play. Who knows? But yeah.
What do you think, Andrew?
I think overall, I don't believe taking Twitter private is a good deal, because you don't want a social media as powerful as Twitter to be private, so nobody knows exactly what's going on behind the doors and how the revenue is sharing, how is the coming. Plus, you want these kind of things to be debated in public. You don't want only one political side own something, not into the left or not into the right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Elon Musk is more toward to the right side in a lot of things, and having that privately for himself, I think that would impact the engagement of the users. You don't want to go into social media that only your buddies and peers are in there. You need that open debate.
Yeah, they were having, I think they were at Twitter, they were going to have a meeting with the employees at 5 Eastern time today,
Yeah.
but there was speculation that, if that ever went through, that, a significant amount of the employees would probably quit, if it got into private hands.
Well, Elon Musk was really public about what he wants to do. He wanted to no ad revenue. That's a tweet that he did for 5 days ago. No ad revenue. Only users pay $3 or $2 per month.
Yeah.
Then everyone gets that blue check, and then stop the bots. But can he sustain that operation without any ad revenue?
Yeah.
These are all question marks. That's why maybe the board kind of said that, dude, back off. You're really out of your mind. But he's a successful person. He's always out of thinking out of the box. So
He's always out of his mind.
out of his mind. And he's the richest person in the world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the interesting things. This is from the transcript of the filing, and it says, I believe I can drive the necessary change in the public market. I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. So basically what he's saying is, hey, if this deal doesn't go through, I might dump my 9%, which is interesting. So there's so much volatility for Twitter, so much uncertainty. But this was really interesting. And another interesting thing was that he hired Morgan Stanley and not Goldman. We know Goldman's one of the biggest investment banks and underwriters. And I think Twitter board, Andrew, you were mentioning that they hired Goldman for advice, and Goldman told them, hey, this is not a good deal.
Not a good deal, yeah.
And then Elon tweeted their equity research report that was on February 10th, so just a few weeks ago, which their price target is only $37. So downside of 20%. So it's like, hey, so you're telling me my $54 deal is not a good deal, but your price target is $34? Make it make sense.
He actually posted on Twitter and said, you hypocrite.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing to do. It's
Yeah. Well, he certainly, like I said, he just loves to throw stuff at a fan and see it splatter everywhere. So.
If it was really serious, he wouldn't make the offer public. I mean, he said, this is my offer, tomorrow is going to be public. Why? If you're serious, why would you make such a mess out of your things?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know. He's in Vancouver right now. So.
Well, yeah, he was. Yeah, there was 10.
We did invite Elon Musk to our show, but he did decline. So.
So last night I was thinking, where is he? It's been 4 days that he hasn't posted anything, and I posted on Twitter that where is Elon Musk? And then someone posted, hey, literally he's in Vancouver.
He's probably 100 meters away, staying at the Four Seasons.
Or Four Seasons, yeah, exactly. There is another theory out there. Christopher Blumstrand, he's one of the cool guys on Twitter. He's a fund manager. Every now and then he posts really interesting stuff. He said Elon doesn't have the cash actually to finance this $43 billion because it's an all cash offer. He's either provided cover for liquidating another sizable portion of extremely overvalued Tesla shares, or will sell his existing 10% Twitter position at a large short-term gain, because the stock is up like 20% since he took over. Mastery of both sides of the pump and dump.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
What was his average for Twitter when he purchased that?
$30 or something.
Yeah.
$30.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe even lower.
So yeah, I mean, who knows? With him, you don't even know. He could have been selling. He could have been selling today into all this when the stock was popping up.
That's true.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so he bought here, so $39.
He has started accumulating from January, which obviously was lower. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So he has started accumulating over time in January.
He
Yeah,
made a
regardless,
killing.
there's still a really good profit for him. Plus, I know Bloomberg posted something that he has $3 billion cash, and then for the rest, $36 billion, he has to add to it. So at the bottom it says that he would need to borrow $36 billion, and it might be a loan against Tesla. But regardless, that would be a huge position for him. That would be his second biggest holding after Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah, Tesla shares, options, and then it would be Twitter. Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Lots to talk about.
Yep.
A couple of funny things just to lighten up the mood. This was posted by Dr. Parik Patel. It's a parody account. This was hilarious. Have you guys seen this video of Carl Icahn?
Yeah. I watched it, yeah.
Carl Icahn is like a legendary, for those of you who don't know, is a legendary activist investor. And he hired a company and like he takes positions in companies and change them, like cut costs, things in that nature. And there's a video of him like a few years ago where he fired 12 floors of people. So it's like Elon Musk after acquiring Twitter is gonna like fire a lot of people.
It's funny, in that video, Ardi, he said, and after I fired 12 floor of people, I was waiting for someone to call me and say, hey, there's something not working. And he said, I swear, nothing happened. No one called.
This video is awesome, but maybe we'll put a link on it. He's like, he hired a consulting firm and asked them, hey, what is it this guy do? And they showed presentation. He's like, I don't care about presentation and bar chart. What do they do? And he's like, honest to God, Carl, we have no idea what these guys do either.
These guys are doing. And he said he talked to the building management and he actually got a deal from the lease too. The building management said, "Oh yeah, if you give me these 12 floors, we give you a deal because we have a better deal lease." But anyways, that kind of thing is actually really sad. We laugh at it, but I've been laid off from my job, and it's not a fun moment. Definitely, these people have family, mortgages, and life. And anyways.
I wanted to lighten up the mood, but I got it worse. This one was funny too. Tom Brady tweeted, hey Elon, if you buy Twitter, can you delete the combine photo? So this is when he was going for draft, not very athletic football player. So it's like, can you delete this picture out of Twitter? I think that was hilarious too.
Before we go I want to say something about Twitter now that we're on the topic of Twitter. Do you remember that 2 years ago, the first NFT of Jack Dorsey Twitter was sold for $40 million to someone from in Malaysia, and that JPEG file has been on auction this week, and it got 7 offers, and the highest bid was only $300.
Yeah, it was sold for $268.
Oh, you have it already?
Yeah, I have it already. So I wanted to talk about like the NFT market bust, but yeah. So this guy, I think he bought it for, I don't know how much.
The 40 million, it was about $40 million.
And he said, if I can sell it, I'll donate 50% of the proceeds. And then Jack tweeted, why not 90%, 99% of it? Super awkward. He's like, why don't you like do the whole thing?
Yeah.
And it was sold for $264. Because you can track all these on OpenSea. I'm not really into NFT.
Yeah. You can. That's amazing. And that's if you want rate of return, that's it. Or
it's unbelievable.
tax loss secured.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's like, it gets back to something's only of the value for the person that's willing to pay for that much. So I mean, at some point it had that value, and now nobody's willing to buy it, right? So it has no value. So
it goes with all the collectibles and arts.
I mean, it just history just keeps repeating itself, right? I mean, you can go back to the days of the tulips when they were buying tulip bulbs.
Yeah.
But at least you had a physical thing. This
Yeah.
one is just a JPEG file. My screenshot program can give you the same.
And anytime you got like a non-yielding asset, you got to find the next, excuse my language, but the next sucker who will pay more for it, right? Because there is no yield. Speaking of rough year, tough year, Cathie Woods having a really terrible year. So her fund, ARK, is the worst performing U.S. equity fund in first quarter of 2022. And she came up on CNBC and had a little bit outrageous, like I've been a Cathie Woods fan for a long time, but she said she's gonna her fund's gonna compound 50% year over year over the next 5 years, which is some astronomical numbers. I got a video I want to show you. I think this is good to get us talking about this, of what she thinks about SARK, a fund that is shorting her.
There's been another situation where an ETF has been created to bet against another ETF. And my attitude towards that is, wow, they are so sure that American innovation is not going to be a sensible place to invest, that they have created a fund to short our strategy. From my point of view, if we are right, and I trust our research, they're doing no research. They're just making a judgment call, I think, on valuations.
And I think this guy comes in, guy on CNBC, and he's basically saying, how is Roku betting on innovation?
Yeah.
How is Zoom betting on innovation? So that's interesting.
Yeah, I heard that.
She has Zoom as well?
Yes.
Because that's really not disruptive.
I think she has Robinhood too, doesn't she?
Robinhood, we can say, had some sort of a disruption.
I think she dumped Robinhood actually completely.
She did, yeah,
I think her top 4 holding are Roku, Zoom, Tesla, and Square. These are her top 4.
Oh my God, Square is also really blocking a really bad situation.
Yeah. Brian, you are swing and fundamental expert. What do you think? What's with Cathie Wood and
I don't, I mean, I think that, we've already discussed the sort of elephant in the room. I mean, she's talking about American innovation. I mean, I don't know that you can put Roku and Zoom sort of in that, I mean, she has other stuff like Palantir and so will they turn around? I mean, sure, some of them probably will turn out to be good, good investments in the very long term. And I mean, that's the way a lot of venture capital firms work, right? They get pitches all the time. They bet on ones that they think are going to work out, but then, probably 8 out of the 10 don't work out. And they hope for the 2 that really knock it out of the park, and they're going to get like 10x on their investment. And the other ones are just sort of, a wash, basically. They just kind of write them off, but you're just hoping for that one or 2 that are going to do well. So maybe there's some stocks in her fund that are going to do well over time. I hope for her. I mean, don't wish anything bad on her, but yeah, it is kind of bizarre that Tuttle came up with a fund to specifically bet against her.
Bet against her.
Yeah. So, and it's it's worked so far.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, over time, things, the markets go up. It's just what time frame you're looking at. If you're looking at over the last 6 months or a year, not looking very good. But if we go out 5 years, 7 years, we may be talking about something different then. So
yeah, I did look at the prospect of SARK, and I think it's designed to be a short-term fund. So they're not planning to keep it open for the next 10 years because eventually ARK is going to go up.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting.
Very
but
interesting.
right now, as you know, tech is really under pressure right now with rising interest rates, and I'm sure
Yeah.
we're going to get into talking about that here.
Yeah, speaking of that, so let's actually go to our trading terminal and see what's going on. Today, the last day of this week, because Friday, tomorrow is a holiday. Pure massacre. Look at SPY.
Yeah.
Look at Qs. Even the bond, like TLT, there is no bottom for TLT. Like this is, we were talking about like at some point this thing is going to bottom, but absolutely no love.
Yeah.
Let me bring this up.
Again, when Megan and I signed off around 11 o'clock this morning, I said this market's probably going to sell off today, and yeah, we got a little bit of a pop, and then it just turned and blew up to the downside. So,
Wow. So the bull market is over in bond market.
well, the bond prices are certainly dropping as the yields are going higher. So, the question is, I mean, when do they top out? When do the yields top out? I mean, I think we could be getting to a point where they might be starting to hit a level where they'll top, but
Very interesting.
yeah.
Well, the interesting part is the Bitcoin, that it's completely correlated with the technology sector right now. And that was supposed to be a store of value, but it really shows that it's a very correlated asset, especially with the technology sector.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is 2.29, 2.69, so pretty much
Yeah, it's a
identical.
very good
Yeah.
correlation.
Yeah.
Just a higher beta
Yeah.
technology. Yeah. Another thing that I think was interesting was lumber collapsing.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I think and I think that's really a reflection of interest. People anticipating with interest rates rising, some of the home building is probably going to, and some of the buildings probably going to taper off with rising mortgage rates. So demand's going to weaken for lumber, and you're probably seeing other stuff, like the durable goods stuff, like washing machines are probably a victim of that as well. So I think that's why lumber, that commodity particularly, probably is taking a bit of a beating right now. But yeah, 3 or 4 months ago, I mean, it was just.
It was like 1,200.
Oh my God,
1,300,
yeah. I mean, going into Home Depot and like buying a 2x4 was like, oh my God, this is up like 50%. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Andrew, do you anticipate a housing bust in US? Because there's a lot of unfinished houses right now because of the supply chain disruption. Now, all of these houses are going to get completed when the mortgage rate is at like 6%, 7%. You got the lumber collapsing already, kind of signaling that. We know that the economy is slowing down, so going into recession, that's going to impact housing, household income. Do you see a housing bust?
I don't know, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
I don't really see one. I mean, I think, when you look at historical interest rates, we're incredibly low. I mean, I remember when I bought my first home, I had to assume a mortgage that was 17%. That was only part of the mortgage, and I had got a lower rate on. I think it was about 12%. So it kind of, we kind of prorated it to 14. But 14%. And when I had mortgages, I remember 4, 5, 6%. So over the years. So even where we are right now, like 2.5 is just really low. It's
What
still
was it in
really low.
2008, before the crash?
2008.
It was high in that time too.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that.
5-6%, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm not sure.
Yeah, when I was growing up in Iran, the inflation was around 8% and the interest rates were around 15%.
Yeah.
And it was like in 2000, early 2000.
Yeah.
But now nobody was like, the Vancouver doesn't seem any sign of a slowdown.
Yeah.
But
No.
I guess it gotta cool down eventually.
But and I'm sure it's, with housing, it's always very local. I mean, Norm's saying that everybody's moving from California to his neighborhood.
Yeah, that was hilarious, yeah.
And, so, I mean, housing's strong there, and who knows what's going on in LA. I mean, here market seems to be still very strong. Housings are going up for sale and they're going for over ask. So, but how long will that last? I don't know. There's still lots of money sloshing around in the system. There's still a real shortage of housing, so.
In Vancouver is, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But it's, it's
God.
again, might not be the same in some other parts of the country. So
Exactly. I got Dr. Barry's Twitter on notification because if there's a housing bust, he would know.
yeah.
He got
Dr. Barry is very interesting. They removed his blue tick verification because he was posting some stuff about President Biden and stuff. So, and then Elon Musk said, "We'll get it back to you," and then that was the time that
Did they get it back?
No, he didn't get it back.
He
No,
hasn't
it's
got
not.
it back
And then he deleted all of the tweets with accounts again, and he came back. So it's completely weird situation.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, sectors are definitely energy, materials, staple, defensive, inflationary. So same team, nothing has really changed. Technology got destroyed. Let's go to our calendar, see what we got for next week. So banks reported pretty good. So their trading income, I was just reading up on that. They didn't move much. They gapped down slightly and then recovered. Majority of the bank. Trading income was really high just because of the volatility. Overall healthy, right?
yeah.
I mean, what happened to for Citi after market? Did they pop up or gap down?
So
I think Citi was up a little bit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Wells Fargo was down on some comments about some challenges going forward. Goldman Sachs, I think, was up a little bit.
Yeah, up a
but
little bit
for
and
the
then
most
sold
part, they were, there was no real significant moves one way or another.
Yeah, because they've been beaten down so much that like it doesn't make a lot of sense. Next week, let's see what we got next week. Next week is going to be fun. We got Netflix. We know Netflix got destroyed in its last earnings, so it'll be really interesting.
You got Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Tesla is there too.
Yeah, Facebook's right on Monday.
Next
Is that
week
Monday morning? Is that Facebook? Or is that, what's FB? Maybe that's First
Oh no, I don't
First
think
Bank.
that's Facebook. Let
No,
me
it's
see.
it's
Yeah,
probably
I think that's FBK, which
yeah,
is First
FBK,
Bank, I
yeah.
think. We got Bank of America,
J&J.
Charles Schwab, Netflix, J&J, Interactive Broker,
Tesla. Yeah,
Snapchat. So
Tesla will be interesting.
Tesla will definitely be interesting.
Yeah, because it took a bit of a hit today on that on the news. People thinking maybe he might
He's gonna
have to
sell.
sell some shares. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're back into the thick of earnings season, so it's going to be should it be interesting?
Yeah, I think Netflix is going to be interesting because they increased their prices. So we have to see how many people really cancel, what their churn rate is going to be because the prices are increasing.
Yeah, recently I was reading something about how people are fed up with the subscription base and how many of them they want to have. Like CNN Plus, for example, they wanted to spend $3 billion on that. And they canceled the whole program because there is only 10,000 users on CNN Plus. So people really don't want to have more than 2 or 3 subscriptions.
Right.
And as Apple is coming, Amazon Prime is coming, Disney Plus is coming, Netflix is coming, Crave is coming. People starting to canceling. It's very interesting to see what's the future of this subscription-based businesses.
I agree. It's crazy. Yeah.
What's your thought?
So much money you got to pay for all these.
Exactly, and it adds up, and it just you believe in the story.
And Amazon Prime, and
Amazon Prime just emailed me, and they're bumping up their $7.99 to $9.99.
Oh, okay.
So that's another one.
Yeah, $2 here, $3 there.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter is going to be probably $3 a month.
Maybe,
I think it's all a matter of price elasticity. Of
Yes.
how much of these price increases the consumer is going to suck up.
Yeah.
And at what point they're going to be like, that's it, I'm cutting out.
They probably have some research going on as well, but nobody knows exactly.
Yeah. And you think of everything else is going up in price too, and we've been talking about how the discretionaries have really been taking more of a hit on the the downside, and it's when people's budgets start to get stretched. They start looking at where can I cut back, where can I save money because I'm spending $50 a week more on groceries.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Even the interest rate, I got this data that if you have a $300,000 mortgage with 5%, you're actually paying $350 more compared to just last year when it was on 3.5%. So these are small things that add up, especially for middle class. So yeah.
They add up definitely for me.
If you have $600,000 mortgage, that would be extra $700 that you have to pay. So that's a lot.
It is a lot, definitely. It definitely shows. A lot to cover. We talked about a lot of stuff. I think we pretty much covered everything. Any last words, gentlemen? Anything you want to talk about going into next week?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, I mean, I can see we seem to be kind of trading in a range on all the indexes. We're up, we're down. We were just talking about this before the open. We had what looked like a bullish day yesterday. We had down day Wednesday, a bullish engulfing candle. I should say Wednesday, and then today, Thursday, we had a bearish engulfing candle. So, up and down. I mean, to me, it looks like we're kind of range bound, sort of fighting between the buyers and sellers, trying to figure out where value is, and of course, a lot of questions about where the economy is going. So, and I think that's kind of where I think we're kind of stuck in this sort of no man's land, if you want to call it that, but definitely not a trending market.
No, definitely. No.
But there are sectors that are that are performing really well, and you've got to be in them. You've got to be in energy. You've got to be in materials. There's just a shortage of materials like copper and
staples at all-time high.
Yeah, staples, anything, the safety trades, staples, utilities. So I think you stick with the trades that have been working. Healthcare has really pulled back after having a really big run.
Yeah, it had a monster run. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it looks investable here, maybe.
Yeah, you said
from
this
a swing.
is a good area. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So it kind of looks like it's pulled back, and maybe we'll take, with healthcare, again, healthcare is a thing that, that's going to be needed regardless of what the economy is doing. So it's not really something that people can choose to consume or not. So, yeah, other than that, I think, materials like anything related to energy, like a really good swing trade I've had is BTU, which is Peabody Coal. It's been doing really well. I've been in CCJ, which is uranium. Uranium play. I mean, everybody's talking. How are we going to replace all the energy that's been coming out of Russia? And they're talking about restarting. And uranium is relatively clean in terms of the environment. The only problem is the waste that it generates is around forever. So. Yeah. So, anyway, that's my take on things. Is stay invested in what's working and stay away from anything sort of discretionary right now, and technology with interest rates coming up.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well said.
Well, tomorrow's Good Friday, and probably post this over the weekend, and Monday looking forward to starting the earnings season.
Yeah, another week of earnings.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
Thanks
Thank
everybody.
you so much, guys.
All right, guys.
And have a good weekend.
Enjoy your long weekend.
Cheers.
Awesome.